So today we're talking about improving your leadership intuition. Oh my gosh, do we all need this? I just love these two. They are always bringing us information that will absolutely help guide us into the light, so to speak, of what we need to do to be the best leaders we could possibly be. And I mean, I can't think, they're just a dynamic duo. They are absolutely amazing. I mean, oh my God, I can't say enough about Cheryl and all that she does to just inspire us to be, not especially women, but everyone, of course, to be the best of the best. And Paul, his leadership skills are just unprecedented. I don't know who's going first, but I bring on the amazing, the superstars themselves, Black Diamond Ambassador Cheryl Morley, and 5-star superstar himself, Paul Croteau. Take it away, guys.
Hey, thank you so much, Linda. And we just really love you. That's all I have to say. I mean, you're the best. Love all your posts and all you're doing with the trading. It's just absolutely fantastic. So, congratulations on, I just seen how many days in a row. And I've always, Cheryl and I talk about the word consistency all the time. And it's just mind blowing. I don't know what an example you've set on this being consistent topic, which is, and it shows. I mean, you can see, that you're growing every single day and life's getting better and better every single day, which is the whole Elevate concept. And you have definitely gone from fine to fabulous. I mean, you are the shining example of the poster child of fine to fabulous for sure. So we're super excited to be with you here. We come every month on the call, and we do our leadership training live, which we love doing. So we've been working out of the book, 21 Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. I think it's the Bible for leadership anyways. And it really has just been an incredible ride. We've done 7 lessons already, but today, and all these, so you're not missing anything by not listening to the other 7, because they all work independently. Although we do encourage everyone to go back and listen to the other 7 at elevatepodcast.com. So today, and Cheryl and I had a long conversation about this yesterday, very interesting. The law of intuition. So as Linda mentioned, we're going to talk about how to improve your intuition. And Cheryl, it was kind of, after going back and forth and really having a deep discussion about this, we came to the conclusion that you can improve your intuition.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you can improve your intuition. Okay, so this is so funny because we did have a long conversation so to me, so first of all, I was like, well, intuition, that's like your gut feeling, like how you feel like immediately before knowing anything else, let's just say about a situation. So I was like, well, how can you get better at that? And so Paul and I were like talking about a couple of different ways, and we'll talk about that as we go along today. But I just thought it was so interesting that this was one of the 21 Laws of Leadership. I think it's interesting because I didn't understand, I guess, or really know how to become better at this. I thought either you have it or you don't. Either you're good at listening to your gut feeling, or you just don't listen to it and you go more by like what you know and the knowledge that you have. But we figured out we can do both.
Yeah, well, when we figured that out by we love to go on to Google and look at Webster and see what Webster has to say about this. So intuition, according to Webster, is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. So, as what Cheryl and I have gotten really great at over 25 years is meeting someone and getting a vibe for what's actually going on with them. I mean, I can see that someone's nutrient deficient from 10 feet away. I mean, I've just gotten that good because, yes. And I wasn't born with this intuition on this. I developed it over time from working with so many thousands of people that I have great intuition now when it comes to people's health and how to help them. And I have great intuition with leadership because I've been doing it for 25 years. So what we've discovered is the more you do something, the more intuitive you get to it, and you need less conscious reasoning for that topic because you really understand these topics immediately.
Well, I love that, Paul. And the thing too that I think super important to remember, and you just said that we got this over 25 years, right? So it's been by doing it over and over and over. Well, I love that John talks about like some things that you can have in the back of your mind as you are becoming a better leader. And for us, it's like in the health industry, and it's helping people build their build a business, right? Become an entrepreneur themselves. But the thing that I love that John talks a little bit about is he talks about seeing things as a great leader would see them. He talks about reacting to things as a great leader would. And Paul, I love that, because you were saying yesterday that you always ask yourself, well, what would John do in this situation?
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about this the same. So that along the lines of that question, we talked about going and spending your whole day asking, what would a healthy person do right now? So, you know, it's lunchtime, you're going to pick a salad or a cheeseburger. You know, if you're get to a building, are you going to take the stairs or the elevator? You know, what would a healthy person do? Well, they would pick the stairs. So we're kind of like using our intuition and saying, what would they do? And I love asking these great questions. I'm a freak about questions. They've served me so well over the years that if we could just change our questions, we change our focus. So whenever I'm in a situation, I say, well, what would John Maxwell do in this situation? And I always know the answer. So I just love that, Cheryl. And I know a lot of people are struggling a little bit with this. And in the beginning you will, because you don't have the experience behind you. So John teaches us how to ask 4 questions, especially when you're starting out. So Cheryl, could you go over those 4 questions that he recommends asking about any kind of situation you're in?
Sure. And let's use the situation of working with a client, just so that we can all be on the same page, right? Okay. So, and you can do this with any part of your life, but we just want to focus right now on working with the client. So the first question that you're going to ask yourself is, what do I feel? Right? How do I feel? The next question is, what do I know? So especially if you are a certified health coach, you know a lot, right? You know a lot. And then and what we want to do is we want to take what we know and what we feel, and then that kind of creates what we think, right? Because you take those 2 things and you kind of bring them together. And then, what am I going to do? And I love those. And I think, Paul, something that's super interesting to me is when I was looking at those 4 questions, I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to take me forever. Well, what do I feel? Let me think about that. Right. And then what do I know? But no, it's like super, super quick. Now, you know, as you do it more, it'll become even quicker. Like, I don't even think about it now, but all those questions are answered as I'm working with a client, but I don't think I even consciously know that I'm asking myself each of those questions as I go. So it'll get easier and easier the more you do it.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, Cheryl, because you've spent so much time learning on personal growth and learning about nutrition, learning about leadership, all these different topics, mindset, I've always, and this is a conversation we've had for 6 years now, I've always known that the information is inside of you. And where I've seen you grow the most or change the most is you're willing to trust that it's inside of you. You know, right. And I think, you know, it's trust your intuition. We hear that phrase all the time. And I think, Cheryl, you're really doing that now and saying it is inside of me. I just got to let it out. I got to trust that it's inside of me. And when you do that, it just flows out and it's a beautiful thing.
Well, and I think that everybody has it inside of them, right? Because we're growing, we're working, we're doing things. And I think more than anything else, each of us, if you're on this call, if you're in longevity, if you have taken that up on yourself as your mission in life, the biggest thing I think that we have inside of all of us is that we want to help other people, that we are here to help other people. And I also believe that as you gain more confidence in yourself and in your ability to help others and trust, absolutely, then I think it's going to be much easier to use your, you know, like your intuitive side.
Yeah. So John Duff, and we all agree on this, that in life in general, there's some things that come easy to us and some things that come difficult to us that are harder. You know, Cheryl's daughter, Angelica, I mean, everything in school that she comes across, she learns in 2 seconds.
And I think
Justice.
Linda's daughter too. Linda's daughter's the same way. Everything comes
Yeah.
easy.
My sister was that way. She's 4.0 without trying.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't quite like that. I got a C without trying. And if I worked super hard, I could get an A, but it didn't come easy for me, you know, and I know, Cheryl, you had this kind of the same experience with that.
I tried to get a C, Paul, so let's just not. I tried my hardest.
So there's just, but we can all think of things that, well, but you know, sports, you know, Cheryl picks up things super quick. You know, she never did this or that, and she just gets it immediately. So we all have areas of giftedness, areas that we
excel in.
are easier than others. Yeah.
Yep.
But that does not mean that you can't be great at leadership. Everyone can become better at leadership. Everyone can improve their intuition in any area, as long as you put the time and the work in.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree. And I think I still look back and I think it's so funny that I thought either you are a leader or you aren't. You don't have any say in it. Either you're born that way or you're not. And that is just not the case. And I remember the feeling still to this day that I had when I figured out, oh my gosh, I can become a better leader. I can work on it. I can do personal growth every single day and become a better leader. And like, I felt like so much weight was lifted off of me because it was really in my hands and I got to choose. And that's how it is for each one of us. Each one of us gets to choose if we want to become a better leader.
Yes, absolutely. And another example of this intuition is, for those of you that have been following me, I recently took up golf. So I've never done this before. And I'm out playing with people that have been playing for 20 years. So they have all kinds of intuition, like they know which club to grab. They know wind direction. They know the slope of the putt and everything. And I don't know any of that. I don't have any intuition on that. So I'm trying to base my decisions on what I'm going to do right now on what I know. You know, I don't have the intuition yet, the feeling of, oh, I should do this, but but I can see that over time. And Cheryl, I know you've seen the same thing happen in your tennis game. Like in the beginning, you're not very intuitive. So you're kind of thinking about things, thinking yourself through it. But as you got more into it and gained more intuition, now it's just like basically automatic.
Yeah. And you know what I was just thinking when you were speaking is that, so in tennis, there's a particular girl. First of all, I have to have a coach. First of all, that's like the very first thing. I have to have a coach because I, left to my own devices in tennis, I have no clue about anything. Like you said, I have no intuition about it. And then I watch people, right? And I think we do the same thing. So I think it's so important to like watch the people who have walked the path, who are on the journey that you're on, who want the same results that you want, and follow them and watch them. And now I like specifically want to play with a girl named Heather because I love the way she plays. She's like unbelievable at tennis, incredible. And that's who I watch and that's who I emulate. And she has all the intuitive. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm like, I wonder why I didn't take that ball out of the air. And she's like, well, I don't know why. And I'm thinking, well, intuitively, she would have known to do it. I had no clue. I wanted to let it bounce first, right? So just like little things like that, but it's the same way in business. It's the same way building your health coaching business. It's exactly the same. So find who you want to emulate and follow them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. And another thing that can help you, especially in the beginning. So going back to the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, chapter number 5 states that seek first to understand, then to be understood. Yeah. And I really love this, Cheryl. I practice in my life. I know you practice this too, where, it's gathering information from people. And it all goes back to the 20-minute, 15-minute initial consultation with people, building rapport with people, hearing them, tell their story. And there's a famous story by Dr. Wallach that I tell all the time, where he's on this airplane and he's sitting next to this woman and he's talking with her and she's like, oh yeah, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I ride horses. She's like, oh, look, how's that going? She's like, well, not so good because my knee, I got, banged my knee and it's been bothering me. So it's been tough for me to ride. So he asks her more and more questions. She's telling this whole story and he's like, you're not going to believe this, but I know a company that specializes in helping horse riders who have knee pain. So she's like, oh my gosh, like I need to know what company that is. How do I get in touch with them? And all this. And it was because he wanted to understand the situation first, yep. And then, react to it. So it's the ability to read and react. And the more you do that, the quicker you can get at it. I think your analogy, Cheryl, was great of why didn't I hit it out of the air? Why I let it bounce? Well, your intuition is just growing in that area. Soon it will happen. It's just, first of all, we love the word awareness, that you're aware of it. I think that's step number one. Yeah. But, you're getting better and better every day at reading, reacting, not in just tennis, but in everything in life.
Yeah. And I think that's so important, Paul, to read and react. And I want you guys to think about that as you're out, working in life, like in your businesses, and just to really figure out like how you read a person, a client, right? Because we're going to talk about a client for a second again. So how are you reading them? You've got to read them. You're thinking something before you even talk to them, right? So you're going to read that. You're going to read their body language. You're going to read how they are. Like, are they smiling? Are they not smiling? All of these things have to go through your head. And then you have to decide how you're going to react to that. And why we read is that we really first have to find out what's going on with them, mm-hmm. right? And we have to keep how we're feeling completely out of it right now, right? At the very start, I think. And then after you know kind of what's going on and you've read the situation, then you're going to be able to react appropriately, which I think is so interesting, Paul, because, I do this like, it just comes naturally now because we've done it for so long, right? But if you can get good at this, I think it'll change your business. It'll change the way you are able to interact with people.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the most life-changing thing in my business was mastering the question, so tell me about yourself. I mean, that's literally what I do when I meet someone. I say, so tell me about yourself. And then I just let them go. And, we always say that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So it's that's being accomplished through that, but the rapport is being built and I'm gaining knowledge about them so that I'm able to react better to the situation. So I'm always, we talk about being interested instead of interesting, be interested in what they're saying. Now, don't try to tell them your story, and that, it's very important to find out where people have been, where they are now, and where they want to go. I mean, those are the three things I focus on when I'm meeting a new person. I want to know those three things: where you been, where are you now, and where do you want to go? And a lot of people don't even know where they want to go, but so I help them with that. But I really feel like those three questions or those three topics are the key to being able to read and react properly with people.
Well, yeah. And I love that. And I love what we were talking about yesterday too, that when someone asks you guys, okay, so just clear your mind for 1 second, because I'm going to ask you a question and I want you to think about it. So do you sell the product or do you sell the business? Which one do you sell? Okay, so you guys can put it in the chat if you want. But I think it's very interesting because when Paul and I were talking about this yesterday, and I asked him that question because we were kind of going back and forth, and he said, I don't do either. And I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? And he said, well, before I even meet the person, why would I decide what I'm going to do? Because I don't know them yet. So that's why he doesn't even know what they need. Maybe they don't need to be an entrepreneur. Maybe they obviously need the 90, but maybe they don't need any add-on products, right? But you know what I mean? So it's like just keeping your mind clear of what you're going to do and how you're going to proceed, how you're going to react until you find out about them and what they need. Because it's not about, and you guys, this is my hardest thing. It's not about what I want for them. I know what I want for them, right? But it's not about that. It's about what they're open to. It's about what they want for themselves. And that's been a very hard thing for me to learn, Paul.
Absolutely. But it's getting to that mindset where you're not trying to sell them a product, but you're trying to solve a problem.
Right.
So my number one focus is find the problem and provide a solution. But I'm digging and I'm asking, I'm reading and asking questions about where the problem is. And when I locate the problem, and that's really what the health evaluation does, is it tells you exactly, well, they got a category 2 soft tissue problem is what the problem is. So, but intuitively, I kind of know that already before they take it, but I'm like, listen, Cheryl, every single client I work with, I pretty much know what you need right now, but I want you to take this health evaluation so I know for sure.
Mhm.
So between what I'm thinking intuitively and what the health evaluation says, I'm able to put those two things together and then take action and recommend to them the best protocol for that person to follow.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. And then let's finish up, Paul, and talk a little bit about reviewing. Now, this is Paul's specialty. This is not necessarily my specialty. He's very gifted at follow-up, and I'm very gifted at action. So, Paul, tell us about reviewing the situations that we're in.
Well, first of all, we want to come across today that improving your intuition is super important, especially as far as leadership goes. So when you have that, in your mind that I want to elevate my intuition in the area of leadership, you have to ask yourself, well, how can I do that? What are different ways I can do that? And I found no better way to do that, improve my intuition, than by reviewing situations after they happened. So I go back and I say, hey, what went well there? What didn't go so well there? And what could I do next time to improve? And when I ask those 3 questions about different situations I'm in, I gain more intuition next time. So when next time I come into a situation like that, I'm able to use my intuition better and react better to it and make better decisions because I spent that time reviewing. And this goes for any situation that I'm in.
Well, and I also think, Paul, by doing this, and it's something that I've learned, like I said, it's very hard for me to review because I don't want to know. Like, I don't even review if it went well, but I don't review if it went bad either. So it's so great. And just to keep in mind that by doing this also, I think what I've learned is I can see very clearly what I learned in that situation. And by understanding and knowing and seeing what I've learned, I think it's made a huge difference for me. And so instead of like thinking of it like negatively, I think, oh, well, I just want to see what I learned. Like in that situation, what did I learn? And so by asking those questions, that's what I find out.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So Cheryl, basically we always want to leave these calls with a +1. So one thing you can walk away with that will stick with you, because we went over a lot of different things today. So our +1 for today is that the more you work on your leadership intuition, the more it will improve. So we really, and we've gone through all the different ways to elevate your leadership intuition in this Zoom here. So it's important to improve your leadership intuition, because leadership intuition can truly elevate your life.
Yes, Paul, and take you from fine to fabulous.
All right, Linda, back over to you.
All right. Thank you. I was typing in the chat. Thank you so much. Wow. I love it. Leadership intuition. The more you work on it, the more it will improve and take you fine to fabulous. Okay, guys, you can be fine to fabulous too. But this is amazing. Thank you so much, Cheryl and Paul. What great nuggets, man. This is so good. Hey, you guys, this is definitely something to listen to again, share with your team, constantly look to elevate your life in an amazing way, which I love, because we all want to elevate and be better than we've ever been. And who but 2 amazing leaders as Cheryl and Paul are to help us elevate our life, our intuition, every area of our life. Thank you all so much. I'm going to unmute the Zoom. Please, everybody, give it up for the beautifully fantastic, fine to fabulous Cheryl Morley and the powerhouse superstar trainer, Paul Croteau. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Cheryl.
That was
So
amazing.
great.
So
Thank you
much.
so much, Paul and Cheryl.
Yeah.
Great day. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you all so much.
Bye, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Andrea.
Good morning, Miss Mary.
Thanks,
Thank you so
everyone.
much. Thank you. Have a blessed and wonderful day.
Thank you, Tony.
Facebook.
Good
Still
stuff. Thank you.
celebrate that
Lovely, as
birthday,
always.
girl.
Thank
Queen
you.
Mary looking lovely. We love you,
Good
Queen
morning,
Mary.
Carmen.
And Miss Tony,
Absolutely.
yes, your part is straight and you're looking great. Oh, Miss Tony put a little extra spin on it this
Beautiful
morning. She been
picture,
dressed up.
Andrea.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you so much. Thank y'all
Yes,
so
Queen
much.
Mary, Carmen. Oh my
Looking
gosh, Anne
lovely.
Marie,
Oh my
Nancy,
goodness, Miss
Reggie,
Tony showed out
all
this
of
morning.
you amazing superstars. Auntie Pat, Tony
Good
Breland,
morning,
birthday
good
girl
morning.
still celebrating. You guys are the best. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Andrea.
Hey, you champions rock. I love you,
Yes.
LT. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Auntie,
Thank
my
you.
pleasure, my
Thank
pleasure.
you all
Auntie
very
Pat,
much, and y'all have a blessed Thursday.
Carmen Sita.
Happy
Yes,
happy
yes.
hour
You
tonight.
lovely superstar.
Have a great day.
Have a
Queen
great week,
Mary,
everybody.
blue money with that
Thursday.
green on.
Happy healthy hour tonight.
Yes.
Have a
Happy
wonderful
healthy
day,
hour
everyone.
tonight. Yes,
That's
yes.
it. You know, Auntie Pat
Don't
be keeping
miss
us
it.
straight.
You guys are the best.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening. Meet you back here tomorrow, same time,
Later,
same
later.
station. Transport
Superstars.
out.
Peace.
Later.